Yeah, good morning. So, we are doing the Uddhav Gita, last message of Sri Krishna. This is chapter 15, and we will be doing verse 27, 28 onwards. Today, we will be wrapping up the two aspects, which is the path of knowledge and the path of work, that is Karma Yoga, and we will be moving towards the devotional path. So, the first verse that we are going to take is just about wrapping it up, and it is 99% applicable to all of you. Okay, so let us begin. So we are doing Uddhav Gita, the last message of Sri Krishna, chapter 15, verse 27 and 28. Should a man who has got faith in tales about me and is disgusted with all kinds of work, no desires to be full of misery, and yet fail to give them up, then this man of faith, with firm conviction, should cheerfully worship me as he goes on satisfying those desires fraught with painful consequences, condemning them all the while. So, we are talking about a person who is more or less confused. A confused state of mind, like I say. Now he has gone and read certain scriptures in the past, or listened to some scriptures, or he might have somewhere down the line thought that, okay, I have to be in spiritual, and he is trying to be in spiritual. There are people who feel that, yes, I need to have at least a little amount of God with me. And his confusion was, which path should I follow, whom to follow, which guru to go after. These are the things which cloud the mind of a person. This is a very common thing. You will find that confusion sets in a person, he immediately starts thinking that I have to find solution, And somewhere they think that the solution lies in spiritual. And these confused people feel that spirituality is some place where I will get my peace, tranquility. I will not have those pressures which I am having, whether they are education, whether they are work based, whether they are family based, so on and so forth. He believes that spirituality, while doing meditation, yoga, pranayama, all these things will go away. So, like a person who has very little idea about life, spiritual life, he starts believing that if I join a yoga guru, or if I go for these classes which are there advertised in the newspaper, or if I take up some kind of a 1 month or a 2 month activity, I will be well off listening to all those things that they are telling me to do, and maybe I can join one of those groups. So he pays a certain amount of money and he joins these classes. Now in the classes, he comes to know that it is yoga that is being peddled to them. Sometimes they call it by different names. This yoga, yoga, activity connected to the body. That is what is taught, and they join these classes, and then they see that there is one grand old man, a person's picture over there. They start thinking that, oh, this is the person who has given this yoga to me. And the yoga is patented, by the way. It's a patented yoga. You can't use the same name. Okay, you have to understand that you can't use that name because that name has got trademark. All the copyright acts, everything in its purview by that. By the way, this yoga is supposed to come from some God Almighty, but these guys are patenting it and calling it copyright. And the same thing, same object is bundled nicely and sold to these idiotic people. I'm calling them idiots because the consumerism, you see, we all believe in consumerism. We love patented stuff. We love to buy fancy phones. We love to buy television sets. We love to buy, brand images and the brand names. So, who is the greatest in this field? Let me go to him and let me get myself educated with this person. This person is never available, okay? The chairman of a big company doesn't sit to peddle his soft goods. A toothpaste, a washing machine. You understand? The chairman of the company or the CEO doesn't peddle those things. But in his name it is being peddled. The same technology is used by literally everybody, but it is going. Soaps, bars, detergents, liquor. Liquor is alcohol. The same liquor you are using for washing your hands. You know that? Ethyl alcohol. And yet, you can call it by some brand name and pay a huge price for it. So this, coming back to our spiritual stuff, people get conned into joining this kind of places and believing that that is the ultimate spiritual stuff. And they join for 1 month, 2 months, sometimes they are there for 1 year, 2 years, because you see, there are lots of perks along with it. One is you get to stay, you get food, those kind of things. And this is literally like making you a slave. So the person does this kind of a thing, and still at the end of 2 years, 3 years, 10 years or 5 years also, he still hasn't found any God anywhere. But he has become a great marketing person. He's become a great marketing person. He has started selling the courses to people. And sometimes he becomes a teacher of those courses. And once you start peddling those, spirituality has already left the building. See, spirituality left the building long ago, the day you joined it. There is no spirituality. There is nothing there. And the thing that they were thinking of, I'm going to get peace, happiness, joy. And they find some girl over there. The girl finds a guy over there. They look at all the long hairs and the way they are dressed up. This guy looks handsome. And this girl looks beautiful. And sometimes they get married. It happened with some very close people associated with me. So I am telling you something that has happened. This hasn't happened today. This happened way back in time. 80s, 90s, that time. Now in 80s, 90s means a long time ago, according to the youngsters who were born in 90s and 2000 millennials, for them, oh my God, he's talking of ancient people. All right. The 80s and the 90s, and if I start talking about the Beatles, then they think that I am a fossil. You see, fossil, not the brand, you see. So coming back to our story once again. So having joined this kind of places, they are thoroughly disillusioned in a year, 2 years or a few years, and they come to know that they are being conned into some kind of a marketing gimmickry. And they become disgusted once again in their life. And these are quite a lot of youngsters. The youngsters get disgusted with this because they see through the whole process. Just 1% of them literally stay there But the 99% of those people move away. Some of them also go to their countries and start these yoga classes, okay? Not that they don't. And they also start issuing certificates in their own name. This institute, that institute, this place, and in what fancy locations you cannot even imagine. I met people from Brazil, and I have never heard of countries like that. I met people from Colombia, and I thought Colombia doesn't have any of those things. The only thing that I could think of, because I know about some these Western serials and movies, I thought it is only about drug cartels. But I found that the Colombia is a much evolved place. They peddle yoga over there. Alright, so coming back to our story. So Krishna is saying, yeah, there are lots of these people in this world who are searching for some solace. I am searching. As if, when they talk about spiritual quest. So we should have one, search engine for spiritual quest also. Like Google and Bing and all, yes. I think we should also create one search engine, spiritual search engine. At the end of the search engine, you will find God. Now, coming back to our story, yes, that was a little humor. I don't know how many people actually understood it. But the part you have to understand is, once you get conned into these classes, you are finished. Alright? And once you have got so much used to those classes and all, then you think of making money out of them. It's an investment, see. I met a young woman. She must have been around 26 or 27 years old. And she had all kinds of tattoos all over her body. All what I could see, alright. I can't tell you what I couldn't see. But she had tattoos all over her body. And she was wearing funny earrings. One earring was different than the other. Alright. And she was having a nose ring as well. I was wondering whether, in our villages, all the aborigines, the kind of people from the ancient past, they used to have big nose rings and big earrings so that their ears will come down and all that. I said, this is going back to Stone Age. Very good, very nice. And then I asked her, I said, you have been here how many times? So she said, last 3 years I'm coming to India. I said, where are you from? Some country she named. Now, most of the time, geography has to be good to understand which country it is. See, somebody says Bolivia. I can think of Borivali rather than Bolivia, because Borivali is in Mumbai. Alright, Bolivia, okay. So let us come back. So this lady told me that she had invested in the first year, second year and third year, all told about 3.5 lakhs in the first year. I said, 3.5 lakhs? Yeah. In Indian rupees, I'm telling you. I said, very good. I said, by today, how much have you invested? Maybe 2-3 times that value. I said, very good. Then what? Now what are you going to do? She's 26 years old, remember, huh? I will go back to my country and I will start classes. I will charge in dollars. I said, how is that good enough for you? She says, my country, most of the people don't know about this kind of things. I will tell them that this is going to cure your hangovers also. Is it? It's going to cure hangovers? Yeah. And I will give them some, tips on good food and living and all that kind of stuff. I was aghast at listening to all that, and then she's thinking that she has to recover. It's like paying for your education. You are literally paying for your Harvard or those, Cambridge or all those fancy places education. And you need to recover by literally going and cutting everybody's throat. So she is thinking already in those terms. So she did in Rishikesh and all those fancy locations. I was in Pune also. I was in Rishikesh also. I was in Mysuru also. Very good. And I got degrees, I got so many letters and certificates. Very good. So I'm going to go to these places, to my country back again, and I'm going to practice that. So what happened to that happiness and all those things? Like I told you, it's already left the building. It's gone out of the window long ago. So coming back to our story, this whole point is every person is confused to the core. And that is what Sri Krishna is telling Uddhava. He must have told him 5,000 years ago, okay? I don't know. Don't go by my dates, okay? But tomorrow he'll say, Guruji, 5,000 years ago, there was no Uddhava and Krishna. 7,500. Okay, boss, 7,500. As many years as you want. 5 years ago also you can say, no problem. So, this is what is peddled, marketed, and everybody gets conned by it, and they still don't find God. So this person is still having those desires. Desires because every time he looks at a woman, he thinks, oh, I want to have an affair with her. What? Every woman is not for having affairs. I was seeing a clip from the BBC comedy. All right. So in that, what would a woman do when she went to the bar? How she will behave like a man? And she goes and does exactly what the man will do in the bar. It was so funny, I tell you. It's a recent clip. She does it, and it looks so stupid, I tell you. So when I was visualizing in my mind how a man would be doing the same thing, yes, of course, I've seen some movies. Okay, you should not go by the movies. All right. Some of you may be having practical experience. I don't have. So it sounded like that. So whatever the case might be, you are still going to be confused. God is never available. There are some people who will join institutes where they say, no yoga. I am going to learn about spirituality. I will do massive books. So they join Vedanta classes. Classes where they teach Vedanta. And Vedanta, Upanishads. By the way, it is literally like lifting 100 kilos on both sides, okay? You can't. Because your weight must be 60 and you are trying to lift 200 kgs. It's not possible, you know that. So it's like that. And these poor fellows, every time when they hear the Vedanta, they are listening to English language or some other contorted language of theirs. And every time when they listen to one word, they come out, there is another direction there. Then they find another direction there. And then they find another direction there. It is gymnastics in language. Mental gymnastics in language. Vedanta. Because most of the people, including the teacher over there, has no clue about Vedanta. He must have got some big certificate from somewhere, no doubt about it. But the thing is, this doesn't speak much. And the person who attends those classes, once a week or 5 days a week or whatever, after they have had their whatever drink that they have over there, they will say, we don't serve tea and coffee over here because we serve kashaya. Kashaya means all the herbs which you normally would throw out into the dustbin, they put them in some water, heat it up nicely and give it to you. Today is a day and age where you have to save the environment, isn't it? So even that plastic which is thrown in the ocean, nowadays you have to salvage it and make roads out of it or make something or bricks out of it. So even those small vegetables and stuff like that comes in your house, you can't throw that. You put some nice water, clean them, put water in it, boil them for some time and serve it as kashaya. It's got nutrients, you see. Everything has nutrients in this world. Even if you pull your hair and eat it, that has got nutrients in it. And they buy hair from Tirupati, by the way. Okay? It's got proteins in it. Because nowadays they eat even the small cockroaches and bugs and all. They have bug restaurants. So you can go and put your fork in some bug, nice bug, crunchy bugs. So like that. So yeah. So they have got confused. And in this verse, Krishna is very clearly saying that you are a material worldly person. And you have gone and tried out all these stunts in your life. Joined some classes, become a Vedantist, sometimes you have become a yoga expert and done all kinds of things. Still, at the end of the day, you haven't found God. Because you have to know the soul. You should have known the soul by now, isn't it? After being in this kind of a business for 10 years, 15 years, you should know the soul, the Paramatma. But still you haven't found it. So Krishna says this very clearly. So these kind of people, look at the verse the way he said, should a man who has got faith in tales about me, he's heard, from his forefathers. His grandmother, when he was a kid, the grandmother has told him stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata and all that. And he's heard these stories and he has thought, Sri Ram is a great God, Sri Krishna is a great God. Yeah, I got to find them. That is what he started with. And he's disgusted with all kinds of work. Any kind of work. Knows desires to be full of misery. He still knows at the end of those 5 or 10 years in all these things also, he still knows this answer. I am still miserable. And if you really want to know what misery is, ask them what they are doing. Ask them the question. Those people who have joined this kind of places, ask them this question. What exactly are you doing, sir? I don't know what I'm supposed to do, is the answer. I really have no clue. Maybe I'll start some classes. Maybe I'll write a book. Maybe I'll publish something. Maybe I will take up a job now. Why? Money. You require money. So these confused souls, after doing all kinds of nonsensical activities, have come to this understanding that they still have to go somewhere. Because they haven't found anything. Still trying to search for answers. It's like I was listening to Roger Penrose. Now don't ask me who is Roger Penrose, okay? You don't read the news then. Roger Penrose was talking about big bang theories and then black holes and all that stuff. And at the end of it, he still says, we are changing the way we thought about it few years ago. Now we are coming up with some new theories. So is that so? Still don't know what happens in the black holes. Still don't know where the earth and the universe came into the picture. He says, let us say in every galaxy, there is one big black hole. It's sucking up everything. So at the end of it, what is going to happen? You see, after going through all the black holes of their life, they are still wondering, what happened to them. You can get a Nobel Prize also for that. Because you are still a confused man, so you can get a Nobel Prize for that. Because the next Nobel Prize will come to a person who has disowned your theories. This is how it works. For every yuga, every age, there will be prizes given to a person. I mean, when I was telling you all 90s and 80s, now let me go back to 50s and 60s and tell you something. You see, when we were young people, or rather when my parents were young, not me, I was not born in 50s, late 59. So when we were just born maybe, the kind of medicine that we had, if we had a cut, okay, and immediately somebody said, put mercurochrome on it. Mercury chrome is a red color stuff, and it stains your hand nicely. And you look at it, wow. After that, they used to call it iodine. So when they put that wet iodine on it, liquid, we would do something like that because it used to burn us. After that came all those Bernoullis and all. You cut and you put the yellow color tube, you squeeze on it and then you tie it up nicely with bandage. Then came a Band-Aid. Some Johnson Johnson company came up with Band-Aid. Small sticky tape type of thing. So you stick onto it and you feel, yes, it will become all right. You see, the whole generation started changing after that. And today it's completely different. So you see, the generation changes and everything changes. Earlier, we used to use talcum powder for our face. Okay. Then came all the creams. The creams from the past, they were called something. Before it became cold cream, it was called snow. Have you heard of snow? I think most of you have not heard of snow. But those who are 70 years old, 60 years old have heard of snow. So they will take it out from a bottle and they will put it on their face like this and rub it in. So we have changed over a period of time. We had white colored toothpaste. It used to give us a lot of froth in our face. Alright. Then came colored toothpaste. And then they said it should have fluoride in it. Okay. After fluoride, what else came? Then they came up with all the old-fashioned stuff. Clove oil, this oil, that oil, all those things. And then they came up with Technicolor toothpaste. Sometimes there would be 2 colors or 3 colors. When you squeeze out the tube, it will have white and red or white and blue or something like that in it. And then, because it is marketing gimmickry. And after that came another toothpaste. Okay. And it was see-through. Alright. We could see through the toothpaste. It was clear toothpaste. Alright. And then it had got crystals in it. Toothpaste with crystals in it. So if you, and imagine after the toothpaste, the ad was this. You do like this and then there would be a shine over here. Like a and then came, funniest thing of all. We used to use coal, we massage it nicely and make a nice powder of it and put coal and brush our teeth. So it became toothpaste with coal in it. My goodness. So it became a black color toothpaste. So do you see the evolution of toothpaste? It's exactly like that. Spiritual evolution is all like this only. Somewhere down the line they are going to market you something. You are still going to be confused which toothpaste to use, isn't it? I am sure. Even today you go across those aisles and you wonder which one to use. I feel nice when I say, I will use neem toothpaste. I just feel nice about it. There is no neem in it, okay? But I just feel, instead of chewing onto the neem sticks like that, and at the end of the day I'm harming the environment, I would harm the environment this way, using neem toothpaste. Why? Silly way of doing things. I mean, as long as I have the teeth, I have to brush. See, teeth is there, I have to brush. Otherwise, tomorrow people will say, in Sai Baba Sai Satcharitra, he is written, that guy is only 45 years old or no, and no teeth. And he says, by 50 years, everybody loses their teeth. So, 1918, 1916, everybody lost their teeth by the time they are 50 years old. At least now I have some teeth. So, story goes this way, that you are a confused person even if you are 25 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50, 60 or whatever. You are still the most confused person on earth on spirituality, having no clue at all. You have heard Ramayana, Mahabharata, and you have done all sorts of nonsensical classes. You have gone for yoga, toga, whatever it is, and you have still not come to the conclusion that God exists, and if He is existing, where He is. I have never found it. Everybody's state is this. This is exactly what Krishna is saying. You have come to a point. He knows about all these things. Okay? Knows that the desires are a misery and yet fail to give them up. So this person, even at that age, says, I want to get married. I want to settle down. I want to have children. I want to make money. I want to grow in my career. But I know very well that this is useless. Money is useless. Job is useless. Spouse is useless. My children are useless. The properties that I'm trying to make, that is useless. The investments that I'm thinking of, I want to have a nice superannuation benefit. Superannuation is a long term. Okay, now let us think about it. That means when I retire, I will have good pension. Or I want to look after my parents. These are the things which everybody thinks of. I can look after my parents, I can have a certain amount of money in the bank, and maybe, once my parents are a little bit secure, I will then think about marriage. Because you see, I am already eyeing one girl. But I know, Guruji always keeps on telling me, this is all an illusion. Everything is miserable. Everything is bad. Nobody is with you. He is talking of dispassion, detachment, discrimination. I know everything. And yet, Krishna says, he knows everything, knows the desire to be full of misery, and yet failed to give them up. Then this man of faith, with firm conviction, what is he supposed to do? So now, if I was in a YouTube channel, I would now give one ad over there saying, introducing, something like that. So now what is he supposed to do? So he says, he should cheerfully worship me. And as he goes on satisfying those desires fraught with painful consequences, condemning them all the while. So like a hypocrite guy, like a hypocrite. What is he supposed to do? He is supposed to condemn everything and yet do all those things. I condemn this world. People owning big cars. I condemn people. All these Ferraris, these Mercedes-Benz and these BMWs they own. No, I condemn all those people. But I still want to own that, Land Cruiser, Yeah. Land Cruiser I can definitely have. Why? It's a nice car. So after condemning these cars, they will still want to own the fancy car. But not that fancy, at least this fancy. They will condemn everything. You should not eat all these kind of fancy foods. No. It's okay. We can have once in a while, We can go to some fancy 5-star hotel and eat some good food. It is said that you cannot have any relationship with your spouse and stuff like that. See, Krishna is giving concessions to us. Once in a while it's okay. If once in a while comes every day also it's okay. Doesn't matter. It's once in a while only, no? Once in 24 hours, no? Maybe once in a week, okay, fine. Or once in a month. So these are the concessions which this person does, even after knowing it is fraught with miseries. Miserable to the core. So eating, drinking, lust, greed. They know that having fancy amount of money in the bank is not good. Because at the end of the day, that money is anyway not going to get enjoyed by them. It's going to be enjoyed by somebody else. They know this, absolutely known fact. They know very well that you have to take care of your parents, your elderly people. But they are not yours. They know this idea. And yet they will have to do that. So this kind of a person who is used to doing this even after knowing, He knows that smoking, drinking, womanizing, drugs is a forbidden thing in spiritual. It leads you to misery. They know this very well. It is so well known. And yet, he is still interested in doing all those things. Concessions, one little one, one smoke. One smoke is okay. One drink. I'll just have one peg in the night. Nightcap, little bit. Okay, so you're going to have a nightcap. No, only on Saturday, Sunday, I just have that cans of beer. Huh? Nightcaps and cans of beer. Beer is not liquor, I tell you. Okay, so concession number, you can keep on adding these concessions. I can go. I can do all these kind of things because it's allowed. And this is what Krishna is saying. For such kind of a person who is used to making concessions with life, it has taken me 35 minutes to come to this point, telling you that you are that miserable person. I told you in the beginning only, you are that miserable person who is making concessions throughout your life. No discipline, no getting up. It's okay. Saturday, Sunday, allowed. I don't have to go to work today, allowed. Spirituality, yeah, when I listen to my satsang, I feel terrible about it, Because Guruji, he keeps on just trashing me. Why you can't get up? Why you can't do this? Why you want to get married? Why you want to settle down? Guruji keeps on saying, but at the end of it, he will still say, it's all right, what to do? Chalta hai. Iske baad, next, after this you will do something about it. So we have concessions. You got special, you can get a special note from me, don't worry, allowed to travel. So cheerfully worship me. What are they supposed to do? Please cheerfully worship me. Krishna says, I know all you guys, you are so miserable and you are so much gone out on a limb. Please come to me. Don't worry, you can just worship me. That's it. No problem. I will take all your nonsense, The smoke which you are smoking, I will inhale it for you. The drink which you are drinking, I'll get intoxicated with it. If you fall sick, I will fall sick for you. He thinks like this. And he tells them, you do all the nonsense, I will take all the brunt of it. So, worship me while satisfying all those desires, fraught with painful consequences, condemning them all the while. Condemn all these vices, condemn everything that you are doing, but yet do them. So you are that special person, very, very correct for this verse. So now we will go on to how to worship him. Because now he has to give you the technique for that, isn't it? So we move to the next verse. This is chapter 15, Uddhav Gita, verse 29. If a meditative man constantly worships me through the path of devotion mentioned above, all the desires of his heart are destroyed, for I reside in his heart. Yes. Please do all that you want to, but keep on meditating on me. Just think about me. Every time when you take a smoke, Krishna, Krishna. You are blowing rings, no? Think like that, there are rings on my head. Meditate on me. The devotional path is like this, That is exactly what one of my, in the past somebody told me, cheers to you, Krishna. Okay, so cheers to me. Cheers. So the idea is like that. He says, you understand all those things which I taught you in the last verse. Now, after knowing all those things, please worship. Please worship me, Krishna says these words. And worship me 100%. Not 99%, 100%. That means I am everything in your life. They say, some people say, everything of everything. Okay. The theory of everything. He wrote that, I'm sure you can go and watch the movie also. The theory of everything. Like that. So Krishna is the theory of everything and the practical of everything also. So Krishna says these words very carefully, listen to them. Do all those things, but yet be devoted to me. That means the concessional path is devotional path. Why is the concessional path the devotional path? First, number one, you can't think of anything properly. The path of knowledge is not open because you are a duffer. I mean, you wear the dunce cap on your head, isn't it? You can't even understand what is that, THAT. What is the meaning of the word Brahma? You have no clue about things like that, where you have to imbibe that great knowledge. Today, you don't have that. You are waiting for the chip to come in. You know, that A13, A14, maybe in a A5001 or something like that will come. That day you may be having, when you put it in your head, like Elon Musk says, we will transplant some kind of the kind of a chip in your brains. So like that, maybe the chip will come, and that time you will do what is called as the knowledge chip. Till that time, no knowledge is entering. All this spiritual knowledge can't understand anything. Path of karma is not there. Why? Because for everything you have to do a deal, no? How can I live, Guruji? How can I live without taking a salary? You tell me. I've got so many mouths to feed, no? You are telling us you are not supposed to bother about money and stuff like that. And I'm not even supposed to bother if that idiot boss of mine keeps on firing me for not doing the job. I've done it. And yet he tells me you are such an idiot. Okay. At least one promotion. One increment. This year they are telling me that because of pandemic, no increment. And they are trying to reduce my salary also. Guruji, please understand, money is required. You may say I'm working from home, doesn't matter. But you see, working from home you think is easy. You see, when I used to go to office, I would waste my time near that cooler. In my house, I can't even waste my time. I'm closeted in my room, okay. And if I go out, my wife is standing over there. My children are yelling away to glory. A very useful thought from Google and Apple. Nowadays, you are closeted in your room, closed in your room. Google and Apple, with the new update which Apple has given, in your phone, in your cell phone, you can enable the sounds. SOUNDS, sounds. If somebody knocks on your door, your phone will tell you somebody is knocking on your door. Someone came knocking in my... There was a very beautiful poetry like that. Somebody is knocking on my door. If you forget to turn off some lights and all, it will tell you. If your baby is crying in another room, you can't hear it over here because you are talking to that idiot boss of yours on Zoom call. Suddenly your phone will say, baby is crying. It's enabled. Technology is enabled to this level. You know who is going to come at the door, isn't it? You know. Who's going to come at the door? Mostly Amazon. Most of the time it is Amazon or one of those food cart people, all this. They will be there at the door. If it is somewhere in the afternoon time, you are hungry and your boss is still at it and you feel and you want to garrote him. He's in another country, he doesn't understand. He has just got up from his sleep. And here, I am hungry, my lunchtime is there. And that fellow is at the door. So you can just, close your window, that window, and go to the door and take your food. Or Amazon guy, he'll just drop it over there and go away. So you can take it and bring it inside. So Google has enabled sounds. And before that, before Google could do it, it was already enabled in Apple. But most of you people don't know about it, so I'm just making a little advertisement for them. Why? Because now we are doing devotional path. Now you should get all the goodies in this world. So Krishna says, see, I'm giving you even sounds. See, when baby crying doesn't mean your baby is crying. Maybe your spouse is shouting in that room. So you can say, baby crying for that. It is called enabling sounds. So now Krishna says, Karma Yoga also you are making concessions. You want to make money, you want to enjoy your life, you want all kinds of benefits. So now only thing left for you is called Bhakti Yoga. And in the Bhakti Marg, I have no requirements. You can be with your spouse, you can be with your children, you can go and do a job which you think is the worst job in the world. I mean, nobody thinks they have got a good job, okay? Everybody thinks their job is worst. You can do that job, you can earn money, you can get your promotions, you can do whatever you feel like in the material world. Please do. But you only be devoted to me. I am your super boss. Everything comes to me only. They say, now the buck stops with me. So the buck stops with me, Krishna says. And this is a very sweet thing I'm telling you. He is the super boss of everything. If a meditative man constantly worships me through this path of devotion mentioned above, the previous words he said, even if you are going through all your hells in your life, you just focus on me, then I will see to it that the desires of your heart are destroyed. For I reside in your heart. This is the sweetest thing that he can tell you. You know why he's telling you that? You just focus on me. When you focus on me, I will take away all those desires of yours. The desire which says that I have to own the fanciest of the cars. I have to live in the fanciest of the house. I got to have the bank accounts. Massive bank accounts. I got to have savings. I should have my pension fund in place. My children are there. They have to settle well in life. My grandchildren, they should like me. They should always play with me. These are the desires that you have. I will slowly cut them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do that, I love doing that. You won't even know. You know what I will do? I'm just giving you an example, alright? Think about it. I will transport your grandchildren 1,000 kilometers away from you. Then you can't go and see them every week, isn't it? See? I'll push them away very far away. And your grandchildren's parents, which are, one of them is your son or your daughter, they will say, Mom, Dad, where do I have the time to come and see you? You know this pandemic is there. And later on, after pandemic is gone, they will say, my boss is an idiot, full day. Even Saturday, Sunday I have to work. But you will know that Saturday, Sunday they have taken the car out and they have gone for an outing to some other state. Of course you will know that, but still you will say, you don't know I was on call. Even when I was over there in those mountains, I was still taking the call. There is no network there, but still this man wants to convince you, or this woman wants to convince you, there was a call. And you have to be happy because Krishna is facilitating this for you. So your grandchildren are gone out of the way. Your children are gone out of the way. Why? Because they don't have the time. See, for those Christians and other people, the poor fellows have to come and show their face once in a year, at least for the Thanksgiving. Their face is like the dead turkey. Okay? It's like the dead turkey. But in India, Diwali time, they have to put one, that silly face on, a silly smile on their face. And what do they come and do? When these sons and daughters come, what do they do? They visit their old friends in the town which you are staying. They want to visit their old friends. So most of the time they are not there with you. It's a happy time. You should thank Krishna for it. Krishna, thank you very much. I don't have to meet these idiots. So Krishna has cut off this. You wanted a very big house. You know, the government comes up with a law saying that for a big house more than 1,000 square feet, the taxes are double. 2,000 square feet, the taxes are tripled. And you say, no, it's a good thing my house is not 1,000 square feet. I have divided it into two. I have 2,500, but I have divided it into two. And there is one garage which is 500 square feet. The garage doesn't get counted. So I am happy, no taxes. Less amount of tax. So Krishna does this kind of facilitation. House reduced. Then income tax, which is called, the tax which you pay if you have an income. What income I have? Nothing. So Krishna says, let us add farming income to it. Farming, no tax. Poultry farming, no tax. You see, you keep a couple of pigs, okay, couple of cows. In India, if you keep cows, the government will help you. Because we love cows. Yes. And even if the cow doesn't give you milk, it's all right. Why? You can use the cow dung, no? And you can sell the gomutra also if you want. So Krishna is facilitating that also. Then he says, see, now I facilitated so many things. Now you have your spouse, husband and wife. Now attachment to them, don't worry. You are in spiritual, no? I will make your spouse attached to her job or his job. So they are 24/7 in that job of theirs. They are completely lost over there. They have no time for you. And once in a while you can tell them, no, you don't find time for me, no, what to do? See, you are a hypocrite. Krishna teaches you how to do this kind of a thing. That person doesn't have time for you. Be happy for that. And if you are a young person and if you have parents over there, and there are your parents always around, they are hovering around you. You are a young person and the parents are always hovering, and every time when they look at you, they say, you have to get married. Oh, married? Mom, I need a girl who is like Aishwarya Rai. Okay? She needs to have a lot of money, lot of good job, lot of bank balance and all that. No, don't worry. I'm not going to touch that money. But to find this unique person is very difficult. You know that, and your mother knows it, and your father also knows it. And for this Aishwarya right type of a person, that means a beautiful girl. Not necessarily beautiful. She thinks she's beautiful because she does TikTok and all those channels, She does that every time. Oh, look at me. And then they will do the tutorials. Like, okay, she thinks that, Mom, see, I need a guy who knows that I am going to be doing all these videos. Okay? I need my vacations in, Bali's and all these places. Now, where do you get an idiot like that? It is impossible to get an idiot like that. So naturally, their wedding keeps on getting pushed ahead and ahead and ahead. Because any which way you can't find this kind of a person existing in this world. It's a dream destination wedding kind of a thing, Like a dream destination guy or a girl. You can't find them. Because whatever the thing that you find is all the leftovers kind of thing. According to you, it is all leftovers. Somebody who has got 10 affairs going on, somebody who thinks no end of himself, he always goes on the bike and he does wheelies. Okay? Yeah. And there are these guys, oh, I like to go to the mountains every weekend. Nandi Hills. And if they are Delhiites, they are thinking, I go to Shimla and I go to Manali and I go to those, Kinnaur and all those places. I take my, Harley Davidson over there. So you can't find somebody who's going to sit behind them while they do all those stunts on their bikes. So now you know very well why these marriages are not happening. So Krishna is very coolly telling you, don't worry, you won't find that person. So be happy. I have given you all the reasons why you can't get this kind of a person. So I've cut off that angle also. And you can also say, see, I need to have a house, okay? And nowadays the rentals are very high. See, even to buy a fridge, now your mom and dad are saying, we will give you a fridge. Mom, you don't understand, that fridge is not sufficient. I need a big double door, maybe 4-door fridge if you have, in that 500 square feet apartment. See, the buy doesn't come. She comes once in a week. She just comes, sweeps, and she goes. I don't even know whether she comes and sweeps. I have, at the end of the month, I have to pay 5,000 bucks to her. It's very expensive nowadays to maintain this, So Krishna has already cut off that angle to you also. He says, don't worry, all these attachments are gone. And any which way, Krishna says, you hate your job so much. Disgust is already there with your job. Day 1 you liked it, day 2 you hated it. Isn't it? See, you don't like your boss. You hate your boss. You hate your job. You hate this world. You hate the money. You don't like this. You're disgusted with everything. See, I have given you all the disgust possible in this world. Now, the only person you should not be disgusted is me. Okay? Krishna, you should never be disgusted with, because I am making all this happen for you. You don't like your parents. Okay? Good for you. See, I have already done that. Detachment I have brought into the picture. Dispassion. Well, by the time you are 30, you have tried everything from breezer down to everything. Okay? And all those fancy MDMAs and all that, everything you have tried it out. And you know it, nothing gives you the high. Correct? So because nothing gives you the high, you finally have come to a point. What am I to do now? Krishna said, don't do anything. Because nothing is giving you the high, so that also is gone. All the, the marriage deal also off the table. Money, that also you don't know. Na? You are thinking that, Uttarakhand is giving me 1 year, I can go and stay over there. Full. I'm doing Uttarakhand Tourism Development Corporation advertisement just now. Okay. 1 year you can come and stay in Uttarakhand. 3 days if you stay in some hotel over there, 3,000 bucks we will credit to your account. Wow, this is so nice, I can go to Kinnor and stay over there. So the person has already decided where he is going. There, don't worry. Everything is available. Yeah, even internet is available. So you have these fancy things going on in your life. Krishna says, just carry one small statue of mine, okay? Don't forget that. Okay, you can carry Ganesha statue, no problem. Ganesha is always going to take care of all your problems, but put me in your heart. This is the beautiful line which he says. All the desires. See, if a meditative man, you got to meditate on me, constantly worships me through the path of devotion, you be only devoted to me, mentioned in this. All the desires of your heart are destroyed. I told you, all your attachments will become detachments very soon. That is my job. For I reside in your heart. So in your heart, I am the only person there. So I am going to do all the fancy cleaning for you. Your heart is going to get spring cleaned. And now nothing will be there. Okay? No cot also. Nothing. It's a bare room. It's a bare room over there. You can sleep on the floor. Doesn't matter. So in your heart, I will be residing. Okay? And I am invisible. I am not going to be bothering you so much. I am invisible, but I am there in your heart. Just keep on thinking about me constantly. And then what I will do is I will take away all these attachments of yours. All these passions of yours. I will minus them out in your life. And you can stay that way. Be miserable in the material world, but with me, you are the most happiest. Why? Because you got Krishna with you. This is the introduction to devotional path. No? Everybody is in this place right now. So let us just have devotion for Krishna. Krishna is giving you the incentive for devotion. You please do what you want. I will minus it out slowly, 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 slowly. And please be devoted to me. Okay? So next week we will do how devotion is to be done to Krishna. So far we have introduced the topic. You know, you have now given a big tick to yourself. Yes, Guruji, I am that guy, I am that woman. Tick. Next time join me so that I can tell you how to be devoted to him. Got it? So see you all next week. Have a great week ahead and I'll see you all the coming Saturday. Bye.